Welcome, my beautiful souls. Heta Poo, which means peace to you, my beautiful souls. So this week for soul surgery, we're going to be looking at what's activated and what's afflicted by using the God cards, my beautiful souls. Use some astrology to look at what's going on in the mundane realm, and then we've got some animal cards looking at or giving us an action. Basically, is what action should be taken, where our focus should be aligned for this week, my beautiful souls. So this is Soul Surgery. I am Osar Furian. This is House of New. So kick back, relax, go and bear with me for the next 20 odd minutes as we go in. So the first card, my beautiful soul, that we're bringing focus to is Ra, the creative energy or the creative power. This is known as the life force. Some people see Ra as the sun god, which again I say to y'all is not the sun god. It's almost as if the sun is a symbol of the life force's power. So the sun being a small symbol or the symbol within our life within our solar system, which is self-sustaining but sustains all life on earth, just like the life force. So the source of the sun is the power of the life force, my beautiful souls. It's the same energy that runs through you. Your energy, when you breathe onto your hands, just go like ha onto your palm, and then you will feel that heat. Do you understand, my beautiful soul? It's the same energy that runs through the earth, in the atmosphere, the biosphere. It's the energy. So you could say that source is both energy, matter, right? So all things that are made up, which are made up of flesh, which is made of matter, are tangible at the core of that, my beautiful souls. So we go beyond the quantum, right? You will find energy, right? And this is the essence of Ra, my beautiful souls. So every endeavor, every thought, every idea that exists within your mind needs to be materialized in order for it to be experienced. So life is a process of densification of energy, right? So in its purest form, it is formless, right? And then in its most dense, this is when we get the tangible objects that we experience, right? But once you use quantum science, you can go in and realize everything is made up of particles and molecules and all of this goodness. And within those things is energy, 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 energy. So the nature or our nature is conscious beings, yes, but the nature also has an energetic aspect, just like the yin and yang. So you could say that consciousness itself, right, represents, maybe that's the yang, and then the energy in itself represents the yin, my beautiful souls. But really and truly, within consciousness, you have will, which is the active mouth force of consciousness, and then you have the awareness, the awakeness, which is inert, which is non-active in a sense. And the same for the energy and the matter, the realm of ourselves. We have energy, which is sustaining as a life force, but then which can be densified via matter, my beautiful souls. So that's the science. So really and truly, what Ra represents, right, for you as an individual is, what is the state of your life force? Meaning that, what is the state of your energy, right? Are you sleeping correctly? Are you getting the right amount of sleep? Right? Are you burnt out? Are you feeling lethargic? Right? Do you have the energy for the changes in nature, behavior, thinking? Because we can't achieve anything without that power, right, my beautiful souls? So you wanna stop a certain habit, and you have the right intentions, but you just seem to lack the, they would say willpower, but there's no such thing as willpower. We have will, which can be strengthened, and then we have power, which can be strengthened, strong, or it can be weakened. That's the life force energy, my beautiful souls. So you will see that in the concept of the Kemetic belief system, you had the god Osar, who was tricked by his brother Set, right? And he was drunk. So what that drunkenness represented is that his life force was vulnerable and susceptible to attack. So when we look at our own selves, when we're feeling lethargic, depressive, right, we don't have the power to defend ourselves energetically or against any physical foe, and we don't have the ability to re-stimulate, overcome. We don't have the ability to achieve our endeavors or just our everyday tasks, my beautiful soul. So this is what I'm trying to say. There's a relationship between consciousness and this thing we call life force, energy, or power. That is the focus, right? It's regulation, how we utilize it. So it can be wasted, it can be stimulated, it can be replenished, right? This is why we have a night and a day, right? The night and the day helps to regulate, just like the different seasons, the actual energetic forces that create this existence of life. So it's the same for the human being. Our own world or our own bodies need to be regulated, right, in order for us to achieve certain endeavors or to be healthy or to grow spiritually. So what's afflicted is this goddess Shisha, right? And it says creative writing. Straight off the get-go, there's this essence of words are power. Be careful of the affirmations that you live by, my beautiful souls, because this was the trick of Set, right? These affirmations, which will also, you believe in the programming, so you doubt yourself, you limit yourself, you're fearful, or you're arrogant, you're over confident, right? These energies is again believing in these limited defense mechanisms, which we class as affirmations, my beautiful souls. That's one dynamic. But Sisha is the goddess of timing, right? She documents, she could say she's the goddess of, the wife of the god Tahuli, the god of wisdom, right? But she's also the god who writes your fate, your destiny. Fate and destiny being one and the same, your fate being the product of your past deeds, hence karma, right, which are weighed. And then your fate for this world is that it's literally the accumulation or the lessons that you have to learn because of the actions you've taken prior. The energy needs to be neutralized, hence why you enter this world. This world becomes training camp, right? So everything has its time and its place, my beautiful souls. So there's something about wasting energy here, wasting our energy on trivial, mundane experiences and endeavors, right? There's a calling here, it feels like, for us to step forward and take ownership of our physical form, and for us to achieve something. There's something, Ra comes alive or is awoken, and it represents a form of creation, the spark of creation, some genesis, like, there's a beginning here. This is a Genesis project. This is awakening for you to, or a calling for you to go and achieve something, to grab something, grab hold of something. That's what Ra represents, that big bang that enabled life. So there's like a big bang moment wanting to happen in your life, and the time is now. But are you ready? Are you still thinking you're not ready? Do you still say that are you in a state of lack or mind frame of lack? I don't have this, I need everything to be in certain positions or be perfect for me to be able or feel comfortable to maneuver or take the next step, blah, blah, blah. I'm scared of the unknown. All of that kind of mind frame, right? Shisha is saying that is what you're creating in alignment to your higher purpose? Is what you're creating and how you're creating, right, in alignment to your own health? Meaning that, are you working so hard that you're not eating correctly, you're not sleeping, but you're generating wealth, or you say that you're trying to achieve, but you're achieving at a loss, my beautiful souls? So this is what it is. For some people, there is a calling to write. I'm just going to throw that out there. Communicate and write. Share. You might have a gift in writing, whether that's poetry, that's blogs, articles, stories, whatever. There's just some form of communication, or you can use communication, writing, talking as a form of an outlet or as a channel for this energy that you have right now. So it's almost like destiny is calling, is knocking on your door. But are you hearing the knock? Are you going to let destiny in? Right? All of that requires an awareness and action, my beautiful souls. And it has to be conscious and in alignment. Okay. Geez, the channeling. Mundanely, we have Venus in Gemini. So straight off the get-go, for those people who are writers, these are creative writers. This energy can denote a creative writer. So, the poet, the short stories, or maybe the movie that you've been, been thinking about sharing your message, your a biography, any form of writing. Because Venus is there, she brings a hint of creativity to it, right? But the energy of flattery is, how can I put it? It's like the third house here, number 3, represents your community. Venus represents an attraction or building relationships based on harmony, beauty, or the beauty of uniting differences, right? In a sense. And Gemini is a natural air sign, is curious, right? So I think in the world, because this is dealing with the mundane, there's a number of dynamics right here we're looking at. Is don't be afraid to compliment and see beauty within your community, right? Don't be afraid to, the same love that you want to receive, don't be afraid to give it, right? This is very important. And I think this is, especially in the world at the moment where there's so much divisiveness, right? There's so much conflict. We're on the precipice of the next World War III, right? And the ability to see individuals as individuals but still united, right, seems to be key for unity in diversity, which overrides equality, which denotes real peace, my beautiful souls. So I know that's a bit heavy, right? But again, because we're dealing with the mundane, we're going to go all the way in. So this can also extend to your neighbors and your siblings because it's the third house, right? But the first house is also about learning, right? So I am getting a creative expression here. So take whatever dynamic resonates with you in that regards, my beautiful souls. We've got Mars now in Aquarius where he is right now, and he says rebellion. For some people, there is a need to communicate, and what you communicate is truthful, may be a little bit harsh, right? And I think Spirit's also saying be aware of the truth can hit very hard, and some people might not be prepared to receive that truth. But either way, the truth must be spoken. This is rebellion. We can see this is the energy that's underlining right now. Aquarius is rebellion. It is the fight for the underdog. It is the collective consciousness. We have Pluto there, which is death and destruction and fighting or retaking back our power, breaking the old regimes, right? You can see this manifesting on a geopolitical level with how countries are fighting against each other, breaking international laws, removing people out of power, just dropping bombs where they think that they can. Might is right kind of energy, right? And the people have had enough, right? There is an awareness that the system is not beneficial. The system seems corrupt. And before they were being able to hide that corruption, but now the corruption just seems to be in your face, right? So Mars will give you the power, right? And the empowerment to say this is wrong and demand justice, my beautiful souls. This is the 11th house, is rallying behind like-minded souls, right? Gathering people who think alike, who may be different, but that want the same thing. This is your supporters. So this is, again, Aquarius is breaking against the old. So wherever you've lived or whatever you've done, whatever you've adhered to because of cultural beliefs, right, or cultural responsibilities, or fear of shame and condemnation, or your family wants you to be a doctor, so you gotta be a doctor, but you don't want to be a doctor, you want to be a songwriter, all of this kind of stuff, yeah. And it's like, no, the music is the devil's thing, whatever, right? Whatever affirmations I told you before that you've been living by are breaking. The affirmations that they've told us that we should adhere to is also breaking, my beautiful souls. So this period here, you could say the seeds are set for revolution, right? And they always say that with revolution comes the seeds of destruction. So this whole talk of new world order, right? Because the universe does want a new world order, but it doesn't want it to be dictated by certain foes. So first and foremost, we need to gain that control back of our own selves, my beautiful souls, of whom we are. So again, use this energy how it resonates with you. Be fearless in one sense when it comes to your ability to be different, to be unique. Acknowledge uniqueness in yourself so you can acknowledge the uniqueness in others, right? And hence where you can use flattery. And some of y'all might just have to use flattery as a tactic, meaning that you want something, you require something, and the best ways is to be verbally polite. Do you know what I'm saying, my beautiful souls? It's to be nice. It's to throw a compliment, stroke an ego here or there, right? It's to put an energy out into the world. But if you go, what's the word? Full blazing ahead, right? Hence why the rebellion is here, because the governments or the politicians have been full steaming ahead with this might is right, and they don't care what the people think. So the people have to rebel now. Right, so it shows you what happens when we don't have a little bit of flattery. But we also know with flattery comes lies sometimes. Do you understand, my beautiful souls? So this is also about not always believing the hype. Don't let your ego trick you into believing something to be true which isn't true, even about yourself, my beautiful soul. So don't dim your light, but don't lie to yourself and think, oh yeah, I'm doing the right thing, or this is the best thing to do, when actually you're following a programming, like, which is based again on some form of cultural belief or religious belief or whatever belief system, or based on your trauma, meaning you've experienced something in your past, and from that point on you're wary. So this leads me to the butterfly transformation. The ugly caterpillars become beautiful butterflies, right? The ugly caterpillar was always a butterfly. This is metamorphosis, my beautiful souls. Do you understand? This is the ability to change. So linking the butterfly to the mind, right? This change is a mindset shift. This is what I'm sensing, especially with the Gemini energy, the Aquarius energy, right? And Shishak linking back to the creativity and the writing and the thinking. So this is a mental shift, if you want to call it like that. This is a transformation of your mindset, how you see the world. Like I said, the affirmations you live by, right? Which is the conscious programming, not conscious, sorry, the emotional programming, right, of whatever you've experienced in life, which unfortunately has presented itself more as a limitation and inhibition, as opposed to allowing you to explore the fullness and dynamics of your limitlessness and your creativeness. Do you understand my point? This is how Ra moves. It is consciously awoken. It manifests, your energy manifests accordingly to how you consciously see yourself, my beautiful souls. So if you see yourself as poor, then poverty will visit you every day. If you see yourself as rich, then you'll be bathed in riches, right? So this is not just affirmation of saying, I want to be rich and blah, blah, blah. This is understanding how the universe works. There's a psychosomatic energy here, how consciousness is a force that moves energy. So it has nothing to do with where you come from or the rituals you perform in a sense every single day. What it does boil down to is how you see yourself, whom you tell yourself that you are. That's how the universe responds, my beautiful souls. The owl, again, air energy, but this is bringing in a form of clairvoyancy, right? The owl can move its head 360, right? So this transformation comes from self-reflection, self-understanding, right? Being able to see the world for what it is and not shy away from it, or not to dim one's light. The owl also denotes some form of abundancy in this deck as well. So the abundancy, I think, is connected to our ability to stand in our authenticity, to communicate, to stand and defend the violations. So we sometimes think that we are our flesh, which is a violation of our divinity. Just like how our flesh can be violated through, let's say, I don't know, divisive policies, unfair policies, policies based on class. You know, there's wealth inequality, right? So all of those things become a violation of ourself, of our physical form, which leads to rebellion. Do you understand? So it's saying that with the energy of Mars, right, moving through Aquarius, pulsing for a minute in Pisces, and then going to hit his own sign, and there's going to be a major reset in the April energy. So you can see the warrior energy is awakening, which is actually an amplification of life force energy, and the life force energy is going to be vibrating on a hot dry energy meaning that its temperament is more hunter predatory, which basically means something doesn't care. The emotional moistness is not there, is not attached. Empathy can be shortened or disconnected in that moment. And this is where the bigger boy planets, not social planets, the generational planets, the Pluto, the Uranus, the Neptunes, are moving into fire and air signs. So this is a lot of movement, a lot of stimulation, a lot of activation. But again, who are you? What are you here for? What are your gifts? Are you currently utilizing those gifts? Is your physical health in alignment to receive this surge of solar life force energy, my beautiful souls? And I say solar because we've got the sun is fully active, so we're having so many corona mass ejections and solar flares, right, which is energizing the earth's energetic field, which is to be energizing us. So a lot of people are suffering from sleep loss, right? Overactivation, the pattern might be off, or you might be feeling lethargic, right? Because again, this is, your body might not be in a position where it's able to receive this influx of energy. So it's having a negative impact, it's draining you, right? So this is why it's so important to pay attention to the natural life cycle, the natural cycles of the earth. So when the sun rises, you get 8 hours, my beautiful souls, of ingestion, right? And then from that point, you've got 8 hours of digestion. And then from that point, you have 8 hours of sleep, and then the cycle continues. And within those cycles, right, Ra obviously represents midday, right? It's like the zenith point. This is where your life force is at its most optimal. So between this period of 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock, we have the energy of the life force super powerful. So this is a good time for exercise, right? Or strenuous tasks that require courage, my beautiful souls. So like from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, you can see the life force is rising. It's holler. So again, in the mornings, we shouldn't be consuming fatty foods. We shouldn't be consuming sweet foods, right? Something like bitters is even better because it acts as a stimulant, right? As opposed to sweet stuff or fatty things or acidic stuff, they will basically make your system lethargic as it's warming up. So this is what Spirit's saying about paying attention to the life force energy, because that will affect your thinking, right? And your thinking, or your ability to create a product or be in alignment with your destiny. And I say product because you all have ideas and there's something you're trying to achieve. So it's like a product, right? So this is the overall energy or the importance of the life force, right? And of purpose. And realizing with Shisha is saying that the time is now to work on our physical health, or our energetical health, better still, because if the energy is healthy, your physical form is healthy. So this is pranic, life force, chi, kundalini work. This is Shechem. This is understanding that all of that, once it operated healthily, then you can achieve anything in a sense. It's like when you see those Shaolin masters do some mad acrobatic, or they punch walls and you're like, what the hell? Like, yeah, because they're channeling their chi, my beautiful souls. But with Shisha, again, it is more about adhering to your calling and the timing. So everyone's like, oh, I don't know what to do, when to do it. But the universe, follow the astrological movement of the sun first, and then follow the moon, and understand how when the sun's in any specific sign, is bringing focus into that area. So this is the first thing you can do. So the sun being in Aquarius, right? We're in the energy of air. So we have a level of detachment of our emotions. We also have the ability to channel intuition, because Aquarius, we also have the ability to tap into the collective, right? My beautiful souls, and process, like I said, some parts of our shadows. We have the ability to share gifts, right? We have the ability to be rebellious. Do you understand? And then you can go a bit deeper and work out where Aquarius is in your chart and what house system. And if you don't know your natal, you can do that by working out by placing your sun sign as your first house. So I'm a Pisces. My first house will be Pisces. So then Aquarius would be my 12th house. And then I would take all that, what we just said, and then I would overlap that onto the connotations of the 12th house. So anything from enemies, hidden enemies, spirituality, addictions, institutions, like hospital, prisons, you just overlay, right? A form of phoenix, transformational trauma, all of these kind of stuff, right, my beautiful soul. So this is understanding that each month we can apply our energy slightly different through our different temperament, which means we get closer to achieving what it is that we want to achieve. But the key is, right, if it is your time, if the universe says it's your time, are you prepared? Are you willing to, what's the word? To step up to the plate. It's like the universe is challenging you to step into the ring, right? And go 10 rounds and come out the winner, right? And you have to decide whether you put in the skill, the training, right? Whether your will is confident enough, meaning secure in itself, comfortable in its skin, in its abilities, because it's aligning its abilities with the limitlessness of the raw energy, their power, the spiritual power, right? That is infinite, can take on any form, my beautiful souls. So this is the real question. The universe is trying to box with you. Accept the challenge, my beautiful souls, and then you will gain the transformation into your greatness, and then you will receive the abundance that the hour has been talking about. Do you understand? So this is the clairvoyance. It's giving you insight to let you know that you are ready, right? You are ready, or prepare, because we still got April, we got a little period of time. Prepare yourself, or we can wait till Gemini, right? Prepare yourself right now. Aquarius is saying, yep, the rebellion starts by learning your skills as well as learning your enemies. So learn what talents you have, harness your talents, right, my beautiful souls. And remember, health is wealth. Kaboom! That's me, my beautiful souls. So yeah, catch my TikTok, right? You'll see I do Earth Speaks videos on there every week also. So by all means, that is house, HOUS dot, OF.NU. That's that TikTok. And yeah, my website is House of New, HOUSOFNU, if you want a personal consultation in relation to spiritual cultivation, my beautiful soul. So yes, we have a window for the Living as Osar book. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, a spiritual cultivational system that will be released hopefully around the 11th of March, my beautiful soul. So stay tuned, and don't forget to, if it vibes with you, share the video, my beautiful souls. We're trying to build the channel at the moment, so a gentle or a friendly like will go a long way, my beautiful souls. Kaboom, until next week Monday. Peace, love, a little bit of darkness, my beautiful souls, and full abundance.